But she ever got I gotta give it paper, spit it so she get it, baby. Or should I talk about or what about style? She's at the door, I gotta go through mine. I think I'll say, hey, it's such a thing, I think I'll say, yeah.
Hi guys, it's Moji. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a new DIY of this hat I'm wearing right now. I just transformed an old pair of American Apparel jeans and turned into a cute conductor hat or baker's hat or newsboy hat, whatever you call it. But without further ado, hope you guys enjoy it and let's just get started. Materials include sewing machine, jeans, extra cloth, chalk, felt, needle and thread, scissors, and some pins. So the first step you want to do is get rid of the waistband by some scissors. Leave enough room for some seam allowance and don't get rid of the belt loops just for some detailing. I'm utilizing the zippers at the end of the legs for a little detail at the back. I measured the middle of the buttons and then measured the waistband, and it's about 22 inches. I'll be mimicking that to the leg part again and measuring 3 inches on the front and 2 inches that tapers down on the back, and then repeating it to the other side. Once those are measured, I'll be lining them up and then cutting them off, making sure they're both layers. And then for the other leg, I'll be just cutting that right off, cutting midway and then opening it up. This will be the top layer, so I'm just making a really big circle. You can either use a bowl or any other stencil, but for the bill I'm using an old planner that's a sturdy material because I didn't have any felt paper. So I'm just gonna outline my existing hat and then just proceeding on cutting that, as well as the bottom piece, just so that it's a little crescent moon shape. And so for the other leg, I'm just gonna trace that shape and then proceed on cutting it. And now that I have all of the parts, the lower band, the middle band, the top circle layer, and the bill, I'm actually going to create another layer for the inner lining, the circle, and then just the middle band. For the bill, I'm going to stitch it closed, then cut off the excess fabric, flip it over, and then insert the structured shape inside. Once that's done, I'm just gonna top stitch it and have it secured. So for the zipper part of the hat, I'll be inserting it on the back. I'm just gonna cut it in half from the excess fabric. I'm measuring at least 2 inches and then marking it with chalk and then cutting off the excess fabric. Once that's done, I'm just gonna pin it with both right sides kissing each other and then proceed on stitching that closed. So for the bottom band, I'm just gonna attach it to the middle band with the right sides kissing each other again. I'm just going to measure the middle of each just so that it lines up and then proceed on pinning that evenly. And then you just want to sew it on your sewing machine. Here's a little close-up on where to sew it. You want to sew it as close as possible to the existing stitch. And it should look something like this. I actually got rid of the front belt loop just so that it's empty in the front. And now I'm just gonna place the bill in the front as well. I should have attached the bill at the end because it was a little hard to sew everything together. And then proceed on sewing.
it should be all secured, but there's a lot of raw edges showing. I'm just going to repeat the same stitching I did from the band with the inner lining all over. This should have been stitched with the other band, but I just completely forgot. But after I sewed it together, you can see that the raw edges are finally hidden due to this piece of lining. And now I'm just going to go ahead and proceed on the top layer. I'm just going to cut a little slit for the zipper detailing on top and then repeat it to the top layer. And then what I'm going to do is actually open up the band because it does have 2 layers, sandwich those 2 together, and then put the 3rd layer right on top. So it should go band, inner layer, and then the other inner layer, if that makes sense. Just gonna pin it into place and then proceed on pinning it all over. But first I'm just gonna get rid of this sewed piece on the back of the zipper because I want it to be easier when I sew it all together. And then once that's done, I actually pinned it like this, bunched up. You just want to wrap it just a little bit of an inch or less, just so that it accommodates all of the fabric. And I just did that all over, at least 2 to 3 inches apart. And after that's done, I just left the back zipper untouched because I'll be doing that last. And then I'll just be opening up the band because it has 2 layers, like I said before, and sewing all over. After that's done, I have my second to last step, and it's to stitch the top layer on top. I'm pinning the 2 little slits on the zipper first, opening the zipper, and it should look something like this. And now I'm just going to be pinning that into place all over the top layer, but I found out that I had so much fabric left that I forgot to do the bunched detailing effect while I was pinning. So I bunched it up, pinned it to place, and then unpinned and then repinned, not forgetting to put that bunched effect on the layering. And now that's done, it's time to actually sew that all over. But you can see that I should have sewed the bill last because it was a little hard to sew all together. And after that's done, the zipper detailing opening was actually a lot easier for it to turn over because of the opening. But as you can see that it's hiding all of the raw edges and that you could see the little bunched up detailing. So the last step is to just close the raw edges from the zipper end. I'm just gonna do a straight stitch because I forgot to do the simple closing of it. And now I just did a regular ladder stitch. If you guys don't know what a ladder stitch is, it's basically moving from one cloth to the other side by side. So I went from the inner lining to the zipper lining, and then back to the inner lining, and then back to the zipper lining, and back and forth. And whenever you pull the string, that's when it actually hides all of your stitches. It's like a little invisible ladder stitch. But after you're done with that, just get rid of the excess string, close up the zipper, see how it's a lot more cleaner. Just gonna close up the button as well, and you're finished with your DIY conductor hat.
So if you guys enjoyed that DIY, I'm in love with the result. I'm definitely going to wear this over the summer just to protect my face from UV rays and whatever. So if you guys are interested in the 2 outfits that I was wearing, I'll link it down below, the gingham top, and then this one that I'm wearing right now is the cute little striped jumpsuit that I got both from SheIn, and I'll link it down below. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment down below, and see you next video. Bye!